Alright, hi everybody, this is Takamage, and today I'm going to cover a kind of quick and dirty tutorial on two topics. The two topics at hand are what we call the right side stack, as well as the stairs on the Kefka boss approach. There's a little bit of nuance to those stairs that have tripped up me in the past, as well as a few other people in the community, so I thought it's about time that we do a tutorial on them. Forgive me for using my streaming setup. I don't do the artistic thing very well. Regardless, let's go. All right, so let's talk about the right side stack first. The right side stack is generally not that useful in things like Moogle Cup, but as you get into Ultros League and some more difficult flags, you may have an instance where your primary party, your 4 characters that you've been leveling throughout the game, might need a little bit more power, or you don't feel that splitting them up into 3 parties is going to allow you to successfully get through Kefka's tower. So generally in those situations you have 2 choices. One is to go hunt some dragons down and get some more power, but your other option is to do what's called a right side stack. So if we drop into KT here, a right side stack is basically you're taking your primary party, in which this case is Terra, and ignore their levels, this is my test flag set, so you're going to see everybody's could easily solo everything by themselves. But anyway, so we're going to throw all 4 of the primary party into this side, and these 2 would be like level 3 pickups, or characters that you haven't been leveling who aren't ready to go. And the reason you're doing this is that this right side here has a boss, and you can also clear out 2 other bosses. So that boss is going to be the Inferno spot, as well as the Guardian spot, and then center tower. So what you would do is you drop in here. As I said, we're going to put Moogle Charms on this guy and on her. And we're to our main party. Now our main party is going to walk through KT first. You could walk the middle party as well, but this is the party that's really the important one, because you're walking all the way through KT, fighting the Inferno boss. Optionally, if you need the levels, fighting the right dragon, which would normally be the Doom Dragon. And then walking them onto the switch. Walking your middle lane party onto the switch, which again you could do this first, but I did it here second. It doesn't necessarily matter super what the order is. And then run in your center party up the middle, moving your 2 wing parties down, dropping the weight, dropping the other weight with your left side party. And now you're at a place with your right side party where you could either go up the middle and take 2 bosses, or if you wanted, you could come down here and fight the other dragon. And whether or not you took out that left dragon, you're now ready to proceed up the middle. So all you're going to do is you're going to head up. Now, if you're just going to warp out, you don't actually need to go down and activate the door switch at this time. You can just head up, take out this boss, and then you can take out the statue boss in the center. Now at this point, you've taken out the whole center lane, and then you could reform into the 2 other lanes. The other thing you could do is that if at the earlier point where I said you didn't need to hit the door, you can actually hit the doors there, and then you could swap over to one of your 2 wing parties, and then go and check what the other statue boss is, so you know what you're prepared for. Before you do that, though, you'd want to head into here, grab the save point, save, and then swap over to, let's say, Umaro here, and then he could run over and just get into the statue boss fight. You see what that fight is, and then you reset back to your save, and then you could leave then. But if your main party is pretty tough, and you're like, I've got enough people here who could take care of anything, I don't need to know what the wing bosses are, like the levels that I got were good, they're powerful now, I'm feeling confident, I don't want to take I don't want to take a 30-second time loss to check that boss. Instead, just grab yourself a warp stone and head on out. And again, it doesn't really matter who you put back in your party. And then when we go back in, ideally you'd have skip here when you're going back in, but in this case I don't have skip because I didn't set myself up with it. But then you would then set up, if you don't have skip and you have to run the tower again, you would then send your party's broken up into 2 groups. Let's say in this case you wanted Terra and Locke, and then Edgar and Celis in these 2 groups, and then you throw one of your mules in this group, and then if you wanted a Moogle Charm mule, whichever group is weaker, so let's say these 2 are considered weaker, you would throw Umaro in there just to hold the Moogle Charm, just so you could have a little bit more relic power on one of these two characters rather than having the Moogle Charm. And then you'd head on in. Now, let's talk about what happens, though, if you're in a situation here where, for some reason, you didn't have any warp stones. This happened to me once. So if you don't have any warp stones and you need to walk out, you can. But there's a little bit of a nuance here because the stairs act a little weird. But to get out of here, from this point, you would go down across this little bridge thing to the right here, down, back across. And then you're back at this bridge where you would go to open up the doors. Now, if you activate all three switches, it should make the stairs reappear, but it doesn't. It took me a while to figure out what's going on here. And what happens here is that these switches are actually fully disabled until you come down here and hit this door switch. Now, if I come back up here and activate the switches again, actually, it only takes two of them. The switches act a little bit inconsistently, and that's one of the examples of it, is that it doesn't track all the switch changes, but it tracks some of them. The thing that's noteworthy is that if you drop in with skip, that door switch is already hit. So you actually only need to swap to the two other characters to bring it back. Notably, though, when you drop in, you start on the left character. So when you swap from that left character around through, the stairs are going to actually change every two characters, which can be a little awkward because then you can get around to your second character and it might make the stairs appear. So it's just better that as soon as those stairs disappear, if you're doing a walk back, just step that character off the switch. As soon as one of the characters off the switches, it doesn't matter what the other two do. So that's how those switches work. Again, it's not super complicated, but it's nuanced enough that I've been tripped up by it in the past. I spent a good 20 minutes just figuring out how these worked, and now I'm passing that information on to you. So just remember that if you're trying to do a walk back, you forgot your warp stones, and you're sitting here just cycling and cycling and cycling, you can't figure out what's going on, it's because you haven't walked down here and hit this switch yet. This switch is mandatory to get the stairs to reappear. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.